Greetings, hello, welcome on in. Unoptimized Fool here from the closet. We are going to give you the weekly update today, right? Now, obviously, before we get into the news, right, we got some good articles to talk about. I want to talk about a couple things. Now, last week, I had to record my videos a little bit early. Thankfully, nothing major really dropped. Now, obviously, this week, we are recording this Monday morning, so we're only going to miss things that come out Monday. So we're back to our normal schedule for now, obviously. So again, if something huge drops Monday night, it won't make the episode. Obviously, if it's really huge, right, anything that has to pertain to midnight, we'll go ahead and throw it in. Now, also too, before I mention anything, I just want to say shout out to Siege. He is the winner of both the leveling events. We had the leveling events from 1 to 85, and then he also won 85 to 90. He is a beast, so he now gets a new mount and a new pet from the game store, right? $35 value. Wow, that's pretty cool. Now, also, too, this bottom game is recruiting people for 11.2 rating. Rating starts today, guys. Obviously, today, 11.2 Season 3 drops, right? So, this is going to go live hopefully before the servers, so get ready for that. And remember, guys, get your Rescue Wraps at least to rank 1. Because remember, you need the cloak to get into the raid. It's not just like you need it, it's like you actually need it to actually do some of the mechanics. So definitely work on that if you haven't. Again, we're going to be raiding on Saturdays. It's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely let us know if you're interested. You can sign up in the Discord, or you can just show up and we'll be more than happy to have you in here. Again, so we're going to start with normal and obviously work our way up to heroic. But yeah, guys, thank you for listening to these announcements. Let's get right into the news. Alrighty, guys. Now, as I mentioned, we have 11.2 Season 3 dropping today. But we have something dropping next week, right? Now, what's that going to be? It's going to be Gamescom. Now, we knew that Gamescom was going to be announcing, more information about the next expansion, right? Midnight. But we actually have more information on when exactly we are to expect the opening cinematic for Midnight. Now, again, it just mentions the opening cinematic. We'll probably get a deeper dive later on during the day, or maybe the next day. Again, I'm not too sure if we know that information yet, but we now know that on August 19th, which is next Tuesday, so 1 week away, at 11 a.m., Pacific time. Again, you can convert it to your time zones. Obviously, for me, it will be 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time if I'm doing my conversions correctly. And they will have the opening cinematic for Midnight. Now, obviously, this opening cinematic will kind of give us the overall feel of the expansion, right? Again, it won't drop any systems that we're going to get, what zones we're going to get. It's just going to be the opening cinematic. Think of the War Within, where Anduin and Thrall are talking in front of the sword in Silithus, right? So again, this is just the opening cinematic. Eventually, obviously, then after that, they'll go into details on how everything works in Midnight, what zones we're going to get, what the level cap is, all the cool different systems. So yeah, guys, it is 1 week away. So they are dropping the story of 11.2 in the raid today, and then next week we're getting more information about the next expansion. They're moving at rapid pace. Now, I think they're going to launch this expansion this year at the end of the year, probably November or December, but some people think it's January, February. I kind of just want my hands on the new expansion as soon as possible. Why? Because I love the feeling of the start of the expansions. I just love the grind to max level and the grind to get heroic gear, and that first season, it feels very fresh. And I think right now we have Season 3, it's going to feel fresh a bit, but that start of the expansion feel, it hits different. But yeah, guys, August 19th, next week, 11 a.m. Pacific time, we're going to see what Midnight has in store for us. Alright, for the next article, I want to talk about the Delvers raids, which actually just concluded with an Alliance victory across the board. Now again, I'm a big Alliance player, and I'm very happy. Obviously, Horde players are sad and crying right now. Now, again, these Delvers raids was a friendly competition. Again, as friendly as you can get between the factions, where whatever faction you were on, you completed Delve, it counted as a point for the Delvers race. Now, obviously, whoever got it first got a nice achievement, and also had some customizable parts for their dirigible, that airship that we get at the start of the expansion there for skywriting. Now, obviously, Horde, you're able to still get this right? Don't worry about it. Once you complete 100% of the the Delves race, you'll be able to get the achievement. Obviously, Alliance did get there first. Again, Alliance is really good at PvE. I would like to say that in most PvE instances, the Alliance is going to be dominating most of the things, but when it comes to PvP, that's where Horde kind of steps in. You can even look at Isle of Conquest, where most of the time Alliance does win that battleground. It's mostly just PvE, kind of just rush the gates, right? Ultric Valley, right? That type of thing. But when it comes to like Warsong Gulch, and where you have to actually PvP, it's mostly Horde, right? But anyway, yeah, this was a nice little friendly competition. Again, the Horde and Alliance haven't really fought that much recently. I think we're all buddy-buddy now. Everything's kind of integrated. And it was just nice to kind of have some competition. It might have been friendly in some instances, unfriendly in some instances, but overall, I think we need some of that tension back, to be fair with you. But yeah, we just had the Delvers race just kind of wrap up. EU and NA was dominated by Alliance. It wasn't actually too far ahead. I think it was like 5 or 6% on each of them. So it's not like the Horde was slacking that bad. But obviously, Horde players, don't worry. I think you're already at 100%. You'll get the achievement and have that customizable thing for your flying mount there. So again, don't worry too much. It's just the Alliance got it probably a couple hours before you did. Alrighty, guys, we're going to shift gears here and go into Pandaria Classic. Now, obviously, Mists of Pandaria Classic is in full swing, and we are actually entering phase 1. Now, they did just release a bunch of dates for all the raids, but there's going to be a big difference for this type of experience for Classic. Now, obviously, when Mists of Pandaria first launched, it came out with looking for raid, and looking for raid, controversial type of thing. Obviously, a lot of people don't like it. It's very much a melted down type of mechanics, and it really didn't solve the problem of getting more people to raid. Now, obviously, Blizzard probably has noticed that we still have LFR inside of retail, but again, there's a lot of controversy around LFR. But again, MoP was the first expansion to showcase this feature, and it was kind of well received. But they're doing a different thing, obviously, right? The Celestial Dungeons. Again, these are going to be dungeons that are going to give LFR loot, just like it did in the original Mists of Pandaria. Now, these are actually in the release statement, right? So this is going to be showing a big list of all the release dates for these Celestial Dungeons, right? We are entering phase 1 of MoP Classic, right? So again, we have different raids coming out, and of course then we have the Celestial Dungeon. So again, this is kind of newer content, right? Obviously, it was LFR, you just go into the raid, it's dumbed down mechanics, that's how LFR is. But now with Celestial Dungeons, we, have a somewhat of a thought of how they work, but it would be cool to see how they work and dive into it. So it's definitely a good way to, if you're not too crazy into MoP Classic, if you're most likely a retail Andy, like I am, it's good to just go into the Celestial Dungeons and experience and get some loot there. So yeah, that schedule has been released. We now know more details on that and when we can experience the first Celestial Dungeon, and hopefully maybe this experiment that they're doing goes into retail, right? Obviously, I think some of these things are experiments, right? Obviously, SOD, you have this new Celestial Dungeons. I think all these new Classic ecosystems are kind of helping retail kind of stay fresh too. So I think eventually we'll see the benefit of all those systems, which will be cool. Alrighty, guys. Now, with the release 11.2, data miners have been sniffing out some things in the code, and they have recently found the pre-order bonuses for Midnight. Now, obviously, we're going to find out a lot more information about Midnight here at Gamescom in about a week, and we'll probably release the pre-orders there. But obviously, there's a lot to cover. There's 3 standard ones. They have the standard one, they have the epic one, they have the deluxe one, right? They have like the 3 major ones. That's pretty, obvious, right, for the release there. Now, obviously, I won't go into every piece of detail, but obviously, the deluxe ones, the top ones, do have early access to playing the game, 3-day early access. I always buy the deluxe edition. I buy the most expensive one just because, again, this is my favorite game. This is the only one I pre-order. This is the only game that I pre-order. I usually just buy games on day 1 or day 2 if it's not World of Warcraft. But there's one thing that I do want to mention, right? Now, again, Midnight, we don't know, we know where we're going in a sense. We don't know the exact zones, right? Some speculation there. We don't know like any major systems, if they're going to be adding any major systems, if it's just going to be, advancing the systems we had in War Within, or again, but we know that one system is housing, right? So that's going to be something to look forward to. But it looks like in the 2 editions that are more expensive, it looks like we're going to have housing early access as well too. Now it doesn't give us how many days that we'll have early access, but it looks like we're going to get housing probably during pre-patch, before midnight launch, before the expansion launches. So it's definitely another cool thing to get if you're on the fence about getting the deluxe edition, which again, I'm not advocating. It's your money, you can do whatever you want, but I'm going to be obviously getting that. It's about $90. Again, it's kind of expensive, but honestly, it's my favorite game, and whatever, right? So again, housing early access, again, that's gonna be crazy. It would be cool if they shadow dropped it, right? Like, hey guys, you can buy the editions now, and by the way, if you buy the deluxe edition, you can get housing right now. You bet your sweet bippity I would be spending $90 plus tax that second, right? So again, we don't really know. That's speculation, that last part. But yeah, guys, we have early access housing in these editions, so I'm just wondering when we're going to get it. All right, guys, now this last article that I want to talk about, it has to do with obviously 11.2, right? 11.2 is officially out, right? Last week we had 11.2 drop, right? We had the World of Koresh, right? We had the main quest line, we had the new dungeon, we had Mythic Zeros to spam, Delves to spam, right? We can start building up our vault for this week, right? Hopefully your vaults are good to you today, so it can get you a nice good start to the season. Now obviously now the season starts today, right? And it's going to have mythic dungeons, right? Not just mythic zeros. We're going to have Terrace come out, right? The mega dungeon, right? The hard mode. And also the raid, right? Now, obviously, you guys have probably gone through the story, gotten your rescue wraps. Again, the max rank that you could have gotten last week was rank 3, right? So make sure you at least have it, by the way, because you need it for the raid, not just because of the stats, but because of the functionality inside of the first boss. You have to phase through certain things, and you can only phase with that cloak. And obviously, if you don't have the cloak, you'll instantly die. So obviously, I don't think you're going to get into the raid if you don't have the rescue cloaks, the rescue wraps, excuse me. But again, the main storyline's pretty good. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything. Obviously, it's kind of fresh, right? But, obviously, some people just got the rescue wraps and then stop playing. That's their whatever they want to do. Some people don't like quests, even though this is an MMO, whatever. But yeah, guys, 11.2 dropped last week, and now we have 11.2 Season 3 dropping today. And then next week, we have that Gamescom announcement. It is going to be a busy 3 weeks, and obviously, we'll be here to cover it all. But yeah, guys, I'm excited. Again, next week's episode is actually going to come out before Gamescom announcement, so I'm kind of nervous though on what's going to happen. But anyway, yeah, enjoy Season 3. It's going to be a blast, and definitely do your mythics, because we're going to be raiding here on Saturday. Alrighty, guys, that is going to be all of the news for today. Again, I'd like to thank the Spot'em Gang for letting me rant and yap about World of Warcraft each week here on the channel. I really appreciate it. Again, these articles were great. We have a lot of new information coming, and hopefully all the stuff from Midnight is going to be fantastic. And again, also too, I also do videos on my channel, both on X and YouTube. Again, for example, the Midnight pre-order bonuses, I'm going to be doing a deep dive on all of the things coming to these packs. So if you want a deep dive, definitely let me know and definitely watch that video. Again, I cover kind of the top layer of all the news here, and then in my videos I do kind of deep dives for that stuff. So if you're interested in more WoW content, not just weekly content, definitely check out my page, and I appreciate you guys for hanging out. And again, I am Unoptimized Fool. I'll see you guys next week.